I've heard so many times that the man that really likes you and really wants you and really wants to be in a relationship with you is going to be one that doesn't focus on lust and is really focused on getting to know you emotionally, which sounds great, right? But now I have started to realize that it almost feels so weird after being sexualized for so long as a woman that like someone doesn't just want to, you know.
In my work, I always try to communicate to you guys the difference between sexual attraction and lust. And I do this because one is very good and one is very bad. Sexual attraction represents a healthy and regulated desire. It's not dysregulated on the side of impotence, where you cannot function correctly as a sexual being, and it's not dysregulated on the side of lust, where you cannot function correctly as a sexual being. I've told you guys many times that a healthy sexual attraction to the opposite sex is not only seen as a very good thing, but it is absolutely essential to create a romantic and seductive dynamic between man and woman. She needs your sexual energy to work with, to bounce off of, to play with, and react to. It is your sexual energy she needs to be able to test you, tease you, provoke you, and play with to see how you react. This is how the woman tests the degree of your character, tests your direction, and tests your values and your boundaries. She needs your sexual energy to do anything and everything, as it is this energy that she alchemizes and transmutes into something else. It is the woman's job to take the relationship from A to B, and your sexual energy and attraction to her is A. They say sex makes the world go round, and this is true. The woman needs the opportunity to do something with your sexual energy. And when she does not have access to it, she does not know what to do.
Yeah. So the fact that someone wants to get to know me emotionally and isn't focused on like the physical aspects or making comments about my body all the time is almost uncomfortable for me, which is something that I feel like I probably need to heal from. But that is also something that I thought about today that was so interesting. Like, how do you fix that?
Well, you can't fix it because it is biology and you're a woman, so you are annoying. And you will continue to respond well to the men who give you lust, and you will continue to complain well. But fellas, let's move optimally. You see, the woman will never complain about a man who gives her his sexual attraction. And you do this through play. Through play. This is why I always teach you guys the art and the skill of subtlety, self-control, emotional discipline, and sexual discipline. Go through my videos where I teach you about plausible deniability as well. These are all ways that you can seal your lust, your high investment, your high interest, and your high desire for intimacy. You must learn game if you've not developed the self-control or the experience to naturally have these things at a regulated and healthy level. If it's not naturally at a regulated and healthy level, you must conceal these things. All right. And as I said, you do these things through play. Your desire to play with the woman and have fun with the woman, to tease the woman and to trick the woman, is powered by your God-given sexual attraction to her. She loves this and fantasizes about this. Remember, if it's excessive, then she can feel an element of danger, unattraction, and avoidance towards you. All right. But if it's healthy, she loves it and she fantasizes about it. And this is good. Don't let her confuse it for lust. So don't play with her in a hyper-aroused way, in a excited way, not even a delighted way. All of these will communicate to the woman high arousal. And she's unattracted by your high arousal. She's attracted to your inhibited lower arousal. But your ability to seduce her and play with her and show her a degree of sexual interest from that state. Display this self-control through somatic awareness, as I said in my last video. If she can see that you have this degree of self-control, but she can also see that you're sexually attracted to her, she will have a desire and she will be compelled to raise your arousal. The woman wants to raise your arousal and the woman wants to excite you. She doesn't want you to pull up at her front door with a tent pitched in your trousers. She doesn't want you to already be excited and aroused. She wants to make you excited and aroused. Just like the woman doesn't want you to pull up at her front door desiring to marry her, desiring a meaningful connection, an emotional connection. She wants to change your attraction to her to something meaningful. She wants to change your attraction to her to an emotional attraction. This is the romance that a woman is looking for. Mimic the man who has access to attractive women whenever he wants. This man isn't excited like a little boy about to have his first set of cheeks. All right. The woman is attracted to a man who is pre-selected, a man who has other options, a man who has power. Options is power. Choice is power. And she wants to change your sexual attraction into something else. That's what's romantic to the woman. The woman also wants to use her tools of seduction. The woman also wants to use her tools of seduction. You use your tools of seduction to sleep with her, and she wants to use her tools of seduction to alchemize that, change it into something more profitable for her, more meaningful for her. You fellas who can't see this, you're fantasy driven. You are driven by your own fantasy. You're not in touch with reality. You don't understand the dynamics of the story. You don't understand narrative. You don't understand the principle behind the story. You know, think about a movie and a TV series. Think about the archetypal hero's journey. That brother always starts from nothing. And then he ends that story with everything or dead, right? You got to start from the bottom. And that's the narrative. Things start superficially, including with women. It's just it's the dynamic of the story, fellas. It's got to start from something imperfect and be made into something perfect. You have to understand the fantasy that the woman lives with. But you can't understand the woman's fantasy when you're so preoccupied with your fantasy. And that's your punishment. That's your karma. That's what you get.
Footage of me settling for that 05 because the 87 that can make me finish wasn't texting me back. If I had to guess, perhaps the reason he isn't texting you back is because he found out that you have a roster and isn't interested in catching crabs. The way that Youngblood walked in already in his pajamas too, like he already knows that this is a simple D appointment and nothing more. And like the weird, saddest part is that she knows he's not even good in bed and is still just doing it anyway.
Exactly. I don't think men understand just how sexual women are, just how promiscuous women are. Women really like sex. In my personal experience, women like sex a lot more than us men. You guys who refuse to give your woman sexual energy because you are afraid of rejection or whatever fantasies or ideals or virtues that you have, you are completely missing out on a plethora of opportunities with women. As I keep saying, just make sure that your desire for sex isn't high. If the woman can identify a high level of interest, a high investment, and a high desire for intimacy, she's going to have a desire to gravitate away from you, avoid you, ghost you. She's going to see you as lower on the value scale. She's going to feel like you're dysregulated. A man who can't meet his own needs is never a high value man. A man who can't satisfy himself, a man who doesn't have choice, options, and power is not the type of man she should be sleeping with. So you're sending her all of the wrong things. But then if you're not sending her any sexual energy, then you're communicating all of the wrong things. Low levels of testosterone, ED, impotence, an attraction to obviously not her. All of these things are bad. The woman understands that the man standing before her needs to have a healthy sexual attraction to her in order for her to be able to satisfy him and in order for him to be able to give her children. Just the whole dynamics of nature can only work when the man has a healthy sexual attraction to her. You know, like with us men, we can't think clearly sometimes. Like we can't think clearly, we can't concentrate, and then we have to bust so we can focus and stuff like that. It's exactly the same as a woman. The woman needs sex to regulate herself emotionally. It's a very, very important thing. She needs to be intimate with another person, specifically a man, in order to function correctly. So she's going to be looking for it. But the way the woman looks for it is she needs to date and meet up with guys until she meets the right guy. Women don't think when they're dealing with us. It's not a thinking, logical experience. It's a feeling experience. So as a man, you need to actually understand when you're dealing with a woman, you are an opaque object. You know, like on a video game and you haven't unlocked a character yet. That's what you are. You are an opaque object. And she's waiting to see if you can make her feel something or not. You're just an opaque object that can make her feel something or not. She doesn't take accountability or responsibility for anything of the entire experience. Women don't take accountability or responsibility for how they're feeling, how a story has manifested. They don't, all right? So when she's meeting up with you, it's all on you, right? Even when it comes to sex in the bed, if she hasn't come, it's because you haven't made her come. This is how the woman thinks. Well, you didn't make me feel like this. All right. And so what I'm trying to explain to you is the woman needs to feel your sexual energy. What you need to understand, you need to treat the woman like a customer. You got to understand that a no is just one step closer to a yes. Not every woman has the personality type or the confidence to be attracted to you, receive your sexual energy, and then just say yes. You will get those though. So this is the reason why you should definitely, have a sexual attraction to the women you want to sleep with. Make sure it's smooth and make sure it's seductive. Make sure it's always coming from a parasympathetic state. So your nervous system is inhibited. Make sure, right? Because she's going to be scanning you. Are you excited, delighted? Triggered guy, aroused? Did you put so much psychological effort into, are you thinking about this? Oh my God, I really want to sleep with her. Like, if you're like that, then it's not going to work. She's going to perceive it as lust, and that equation is going to make her feel like she's too good for you. You're of lower value. She's out of your league. Does that make sense? But if your nervous system is inhibited, if you're calm, relaxed, smooth, like you've been here before, it's like you get a little bit of money and you go to a high-end place and they can tell you've never been here before, right? It's the same thing with a woman. The woman can tell you've never been here before. You've never been in a situation to where you're about to receive some head from a 9 out of 10. She don't want to create that situation for you. It's not a movie. It's not anime. I know you guys watch a lot of movies and animes that appeal to this cowardly type of a man. You know, every anime, there's this really timid guy and there's this super confident woman who is initiating everything. That's not real life. That's made to appeal to your fantasy, so you keep watching it, right? Because that's what you want. But that doesn't reflect in real life, all right? In real life, it's the opposite way. The woman's going to be more timid and you're going to have to be someone who's initiating things, cheeky, playful, right? The woman's going to say no to you. How do you react to that? She doesn't even mean the no. You should look at the no as a testing mechanism. You should look at the no as a testing mechanism. She doesn't even mean the no. She doesn't mean the no. She's saying no so she can display that she has her own autonomy, that she's not a hoe, that she's not a slut. A lot of you men today take the no as a evaluation of your own worth, and this is where you go wrong. That's what automatically makes you low value. You take the no as an evaluation of your own worth. The woman can see that you're externalizing your own worth. She's the judge and she has the power to evaluate how worthy you are. And this is so foolish, fellas. And this is the reason why so many of you guys look smacks. This is the reason why so many of you guys think that it's all looks, because the truth is most men today externalize and emotionally outsource things that they're supposed to be providing for themselves. They don't have an inner flame that generates these things internally. So a lot of you guys, the only men that you see having success with women are super good looking men. But these men are actually quite crap with women. They're quite poor with women. The only thing that they've got going for themselves is looks. And this is because the overall value of a man today is very low. It's very low. So the woman doesn't have character or spirit to choose from. So she just has to default to the best looking man that she can get, because the woman is a sexual being and she needs to have sex as well. She needs to have sex as well. And if all the men are rubbish, then she's just going to select for whatever can arouse her, But physical attraction is not the same as sexual attraction. So this is the reason why these good looking guys, they can't keep the women around them. They can't influence the women in a way that they should be. When you fully understand these things, fellas, you understand that your looks aren't important. Your reality will become the reality of the woman. The woman doesn't have the autonomy, or the woman doesn't have the... She doesn't have the autonomy to genuinely create a reality for herself. She reacts to the reality of others. So if you're short and you're not good looking, but in your reality, you are incredibly valuable. In your reality, you are handsome. Then in her reality, you are incredibly valuable. And in her reality, you are incredibly handsome. If you think you're handsome, the woman will think you're handsome. You guys really don't actually quite understand this. She's not an objective being. You are an opaque object to her. You're somebody who can make her feel things or not make her feel things. So judging on your reality, your character, your boundaries, your value, your purpose, your directions, how you perceive yourself and how you perceive her, all of these things are going to conquer all of those things in her mind. It's conqueror's haki. If you've got conqueror's haki, you can create whatever reality, whatever world for the woman to operate in. You guys really need to understand this. You guys are powerless without what I'm talking to you about. You don't. This is the reason why you pedestalize women, because you got nothing to counteract a woman's beauty. You don't have any powers. You don't have reality morphing, reality creating, reality shifting powers. You don't have any powers. So you're a creature of the flesh. You're a fleshly being. So of course the woman's going to dominate you. The woman is so much more beautiful than you are. You don't have anything. The woman's got that fleshly powers. She doesn't have the reality creating and morphing powers that you have. She doesn't have the independence that you have. But because you don't have it, you can't do these things. This is the reason you can't do these things. You believe you got to be 6'2" and super good looking to have any way with a woman, and that's quite sad and pathetic. Guys, sign up for one-on-one coaching. Let's cure you from your sickness.
Knows that women are not attracted to men who are good looking. They are attracted to men who are attractive. Big difference. You know, we have this notion that all successful seducers must have been good looking. History is replete with examples of men who were not good looking at all, who were too short, and yet who could seduce any woman they desired. Look at some of the paintings of Casanova. Not what we would call a very good looking guy. But Casanova said this about himself. He said this: "I was not handsome, but I had something better than beauty, a striking way of expressing myself, which always compelled interest in my favor." Now, considering his first sexual encounter was a threesome with two nuns, I would say he had a very compelling way of expressing himself. Jean-Paul Sartre, the great philosopher and even greater ladies' man, was notoriously beastly ugly, and yet women fell at his feet. He was 4'9". One eye went this way, one eye went that way. Look at pictures of him. It has been written about him that women fell for him because he knew how to explain their soul to them. The language of women is words themselves. Men fall in love through their eyes, women fall in love through their ears. Voltaire said, "Give me 5 minutes to explain away my ugly face, and I can bed the Queen of France." So don't ever let that be an excuse. Some guy said to me in New York recently, "I feel like I am too short for women to be attracted to me." I told him the only thing he was short on was the will to cast off his self-limiting belief.
Bars. And it's not just words that women are attracted to. Women are attracted to your spirit. You got to understand, the woman is feeling things from you, things that she can't even comprehend or explain to herself, things that she can't even accurately explain to her mom, her sisters, her friends. She's feeling things from you. So you need to conceptualize that as the spirit, because it's a combination of different things, depending on what spirit you project will depend on what she's feeling from you. I keep saying this, guys, understand what I'm saying. Practice this before you just flush it to the side. Flush it down the toilet. Practice it first. You're going to know you are invoking what I'm saying. You're going to know that you're leveling up as a person when the woman starts looking at your bad flaws as endearing, as cute. The very same things a woman could physically find not attractive that you have When you do these things correctly, those things will be her favorite things about you. You're bold, slap head, yeah, Michael Jordan that head, and slap the back of that head. So depending on the angle of what I'll slap your head on, it will make a different noise. The woman will actually look at that as endearing, and she'll find it very sexually attractive. You'll notice when you're all down there giving her head and stuff like that, she's gonna be just caressing your head like it's the sexiest thing of all time. Your big nose entering the room before the rest of your body enters the room. That's gonna be something that she finds the most endearing, the most attractive about you. Your big lips. Slap those lips. Backhand the shit out of those lips. The reverberations will be heard throughout the world. Those are the things that the woman will find her favorite traits. So there's no way to lose. There's the very same things that she's not attracted to in you will become her favorite things, because women like to be surprised. Women like when things are unexpected, when things go against her own predictions. She likes to have a low estimation of a man, and a man changes that into a high estimation. She loves those things. Those are the things she remembers the most. Those are the most emotionally arousing narratives to her. The things that she doesn't like, she'll end up liking the most, fellas. So you got to understand that. Right? The way the woman objectifies us actually works in our favor. Because really the fact that she's not actually seeing us for the objective reality of who we are as a unique individual, the fact that she's only really concerned with the whole solipsistic experiencing of this works in your favor if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, and you're projecting the things that you want from the woman, then you're just going to fail all over the place. All right, I can't wait until I live back in a world where the men aren't talking about, oh, well, I'm short or I'm ugly, so I can't get no women. It's just like, when it comes to real people real intelligent people, you just sound like a fool. And especially when you're really backing it, when you got black pill ideologies and you're standing at the top of the hill, really dying on that hill about these things, you not only do you sound like a fool, but you're quite pathetic, actually. It's quite pathetic. You can't be my friend. You don't have any masculine spirit. You have a low estimation of yourself, and you have a low estimation of everything else as well. Right? The man has a positive evaluation of everything, especially himself. It's such an easy qualifier to have success with women. Like, see yourself highly, the woman is gonna fucking see yourself highly. Like, see yourself as a 10, and the woman's gonna see you as a 10. Not obnoxiously or not arrogantly, right? Genuinely, your spirit. If you genuinely see yourself as a giant, the woman's gonna see you as a giant. Do you get it? If you're 5'2" and to you being 5'2" is really bad, then it's gonna be really bad to the woman. But if you're 5'2" and you being 5'2" is really good to you, it's going to be really good to the woman. That's just how life works. That's how the woman works. You have to understand these things, these qualities. Failure to understand these things and these qualities will definitely result in failure with the women. Failure in all different walks of life. You won't be able to achieve much in this life when you're just limited, as the fella said, by your own self-limiting beliefs, your own crap logical systems that work against you, that doesn't even work in your own favor.
Fucking adore inverse charisma, dude. And, embracing that as well. The reason that I really, really like it seems much more in reach for most people. Just be interested in other people, and they will find you interesting. It was like a really cool study that was done. They got a guy to go into a plane, and they said, we need you to sit next to this gentleman on a long-haul flight. You need to give him zero information about yourself for the entirety of the flight. So this guy speaks to this gentleman next to him, just asks questions the whole way. And then they get off, and they interview the person that they were sat next to. How did you find the flight? I said, oh God, it was great. I sat next to this guy. He was so interesting. He was so fascinating. They go, oh, that's brilliant. Can you tell us his name? He goes, no, I didn't get his name. So, well, can you tell us anything else about him? He goes, no, actually, I can't. No, he didn't tell me anything at all. The most interesting person was the person that made you feel like the most interesting person.
In the previous video, I spoke about how there's two things to talk to when you're talking to another person. You can either talk to their ego or you can talk to their emotions. We talk to someone's ego when we want them to feel good. Basically, it's a sign of respect, right? You can see their security systems, their defense mechanisms, and their coping mechanisms. And instead of you trying to disrupt that, you're respecting it, you're accommodating it. You are using your empathy to get into their hubris and understand, how does this person want to be treated? How does this person perceive themselves, right? And then you're speaking to them in a language that nourishes how they would like to be treated and how they see themselves. That's what speak to someone's ego is. You're accommodating them, right? People will really, really like you when you're able to speak to their ego. You're not offensive, you're not triggering them, you're not arousing them, right? And then when you're speaking to someone's emotions, you're specifically speaking to their emotions to arouse them, to trigger them, to get a reaction out of them, to offend them. That's what happens when you're speaking to someone's emotions, right? And you do that to be able to influence them, manipulate them, right? But as I said in my work, actually a true seducer, or somebody who's really, really good with people, he learns how to influence people by speaking to their ego, by actually treating them how they would like to be treated. All right. There are times when you need to speak to someone's emotions, when you need to arouse them and get a reaction out of them. But you shouldn't be doing this frequently. You should really be limiting this thing. I said in that video, you should really not be doing that to men. Fellas, if someone's being racist to you or something like that, they're speaking to your emotions. They're trying to trigger you. They're trying to arouse you. All right. And when you come across some guys that they're just offensive, so you don't like really being around them. These are people who they don't know. They have a feminine spirit. All right. They don't really know how to speak to the ego of others. They only really know how to get reactions out of people. All right. So you don't become that person, and make sure you avoid individuals like that, unless you want to go to prison because you broke their neck or something. You see what I'm saying? All right. So when you're dealing with a woman, you have to really, really understand how to do these two things, how to speak to their ego, how to make them feel good, right? How to make them feel good. And at the right moments, you need to know how to arouse them, right? So, for example, what I typically would do with a woman if I was trying to sleep with her on the first date, for example, is throughout the course of that day, I'll be speaking to her ego, And I'm doing this for a number of reasons. I'm also doing this because I don't want her to find out much information about me. So by being in her hubris, we get to avoid information about me because, as I said, I just don't want her to find that much information about me. I'm packaging myself and I'm delivering this thing to her like a present for her to unravel slowly over time, right? That's how I get them. So I do loads of sideways conversations. Speak to her ego, ask her questions. If she's got something to gossip about, gossip if it's funny. Small talk. Speak about other people, laugh at other people, laugh at her, trick her, tease her, play with her. When you're playing with someone, all right, it's fun. All right, and then at certain moments in times, I'll speak to her emotions to get a rise out of her. Not to offend her, but to basically trick her. As I said, speak to someone's emotions. You're tricking her, you're playing with her, but in a way that is harmless and in a way that she enjoys. All right, and that's just kind of getting the juices flowing. She's feeling the things that she wants to feel. She's feeling a great deal amount of emotions. But I'm typically speaking to her ego when I'm speaking to her, when I'm doing my own thing. I'm letting her observe me because I'm the main character. Right? Understand that balance. I'm the main character. She wants to observe me and see my character and how I react and stuff. She's so interested in seeing how other people interact with me. That's one thing that I will do as well. If I'm not bringing her to mine or taking her to hers, then I like for the woman to follow me on errands so she can see just how much other men respect me, so she can see just how much other women are attracted to me. It's all arousing things, right? And then, so for example, how I'll sleep with a woman on the first date, as I'll be doing all of those things, and then when it's time when I want to initiate something at some point, if she was to reject me, I'll speak to her emotions, right? But I do it in a playful way. It will kind of distract her, right? Because this is how I'm influencing her. Like, imagine, we're doing nothing, and I'm telling her, okay, cool, listen, get into the back seat. Get into the back seat, spread your legs open, and I'm about to dive in. She'll be like, what? I'm like, get into the back seat, spread your legs open. Let me give you the best head you've ever had in your entire life. Right? Some stupid shit like that. Right? And I'm only saying that, by the way, for this, because I've never, ever known a woman to reject head. They just don't. They just don't say no to head. They just don't. If you could be convincing about head, they're going to say yeah. Right? And if she was to say, no, oh, what do you think I am? I'll just literally be like, well, I didn't think you was a coward. I want to do it, you want to do it, I know you want to do it. I know you want to fuck me, and I want to fuck you as well. Get in the backseat and spread your legs. Stop being a pussy. I thought you was bad. This would usually go one of two ways. What you want to do, you want to kind of you want to lead them down a garden path. It's this easy. Do you get it? Sometimes you'll be like, I'm not bad though. Who told you I was bad? And I'll be like, no, you're not bad, innit? Or, are you good? And she'll be like, yeah, I'm good. I'll be like, you're a good girl, yeah? And she'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, well, if you're a good girl, get in the back seat, spread your legs and let me go and get in there. Right? And then she'll either go and do it. I promise you it's easy. The no's don't mean anything. They're just hurdles. She's just supposed to see how you react. Right? But 9 times out of 10, she doesn't even go down the good girl route. She'll just look left and look right and be like, what, really? Yeah. Yeah, do you understand what I'm saying? All roads lead to head. All roads lead to head, and we already know what happens after the head. 9 times out of 10, fellas, that would work. Something literally like that would work, right? Anyway, I don't want to give you too many game, my brothers. I'm gonna end the video here. If you want any advice, sign up for one on coaching. I love you guys so much. Please continue to support the page. Please leave a like or a comment. I've been so busy recently. I'm very tired. I think my brain is kind of a little bit. So if I'm taking too long to reply to things, I'm sorry. I just need to rest, look after myself, regulate myself again, and then I'll be back. I don't really like dealing with you guys when I'm not at full capacity. I want to give you my all. I really, really love the faith that you have in me. You know, the fact that you see something in me that you want to work with. I love that. And I want to give you my 100% all. So those of you who are still waiting on a reply on my WhatsApp, I'm going to get back to you as soon as I can. And those of you who are waiting for me to respond to my emails, please understand I just want to give you my time. All right? I'm sure you don't want someone else to respond to you. You know, I think you want me to respond to you. And I'm sure that you don't want me to set up an AI and so you guys can get an automatic response from a robot. Give me a second. Let me respond to you guys and we'll move forward. Please never ever think I'm ignoring you guys. There's nothing more validating than you guys reaching out to me. Love you guys so much. You're right. Please continue to support the page. I'll see you on the next one.